Hello and welcome to another episode, or another week. It's not really episodes, another week of Exit Sports Talk with Mark. I am your host, Mark Bradley, and I want to thank you for coming by another week so we can get into these sports topics as always. So we have a good show for you today. It's a lot of playoff action going on right now. So we definitely going to have to talk about all the playoff action that's going on. So let's get straight into it. So our first topic is going to be the MLB. They have started their playoffs now because it is October and this is the time for playoffs in baseball. So we are going to go ahead and discuss the teams that did make it, and we're going to talk about the series so far as they are going on right now. And then we're also going to talk about the NFL. We're going to talk about the NFL week 3, and we're going to go ahead and kind of talk about that and really dive into week 3. And we're going to talk about 3 games that I noticed the most by far. And then we are also going to talk about the NBA Finals, which started on Wednesday. So we're going to go ahead and discuss that and, of course, give our predictions for the rest of the series. And yeah, I mean, that's basically what's going to be on the show today. So if you guys have any questions or comments, please feel free to do that, and we'll definitely discuss if your favorite team is in any type of playoffs. We can discuss about that. Just anything that you feel needs to be discussed, we will do that. So let's go ahead and start on our first topic, which is the MLB wildcard series. Now it is the first couple of days of the wild card series in the MLB. And so basically with the wild card series, this is a new format. This is basically the start of the new format that they have for the MLB for this season, since it was a shortened season, like by far a very short season. So they decided to expand the playoffs, and now we're here at the wild card series. So basically, it's a 3-game series. It's a very quick series, and basically, it's a lot of teams that shouldn't have been there, but they made it. They made it. So I'm not gonna say anything. They're in the playoffs, so obviously, they did something right to make it that far. But you can kind of tell some teams were a lot better than some of the teams that did make it. So anyway, we're going to dive into it. So for the American League, which we always do start in the American League, Tampa Bay, who's the first seed in the American League, and I don't think anybody really expected this, because you never know with Tampa Bay. They could be a good team, and they start kind of fading away in the division kind of late, but not this year. So Tampa Bay was the number 1 team in the American League. They played against the 8th seed, which was the Toronto Blue Jays. And for a long time, we didn't know if the Blue Jays was even going to have a season, because that travel from Toronto to the United States, that would have been very bad due to the virus. So that was a quick series. That was a quick 2-0 win for Tampa Bay. They overpowered the Toronto Blue Jays, a division rival. So these guys are not strangers to playing each other. So it was a quick work for Tampa Bay. And then so we are going to also move on. We are going to move on to the next series in the American League, which is the Cleveland Indians and the New York Yankees. Now, Cleveland, we all knew was really, going to be a good team. That wasn't a surprise. That their whole division was really tough. So they was 4th in the American League, and the New York Yankees was 5th. And honestly, look, the New York Yankees did what they had to do. They handled their business. They went to Cleveland and beat them 2 straight games. So I mean, as high as the Yankees are as favorites to make the World Series, I think they handled their business. Now they might have a tough time with Tampa Bay. You never know, but they did what they had to do. They did what they had to do, and they moved on to the next round. So you got to give the Yankees their credit. They're still a good team. And look, in baseball, you never know who can strike hot. Like last year, Washington was not expected to make to the World Series. It was either the Dodgers or the Yankees, and they won the World Series last year. So in baseball, it matters on who gets hot at the right time, and this could be one of those times for the Yankees. So we'll have to see moving forward. So the next series that in the American League was the Minnesota Twins and the Houston Astros. Now, we all know about the division that Houston was in. It was no good by any stretch of the imagination. That was a very bad division. But Houston went into Minnesota, who did win their division, and that was a stronger division. Houston went to Minnesota and handled their business. They won 2-0. We all know Houston is another team, just like the Yankees, that can strike hot anytime. Houston is known for their offense. I mean, they have bats to carry them into the World Series. So, look, I wouldn't be surprised if they made it to the World Series either. And now we all know they're going to get drugged a little bit because, their cheating scandal, and everybody always talks about that. But look, they're handling their business. They're doing what they have to do to try to go for the World Series again. And look, they're winning. So hopefully they do it the right way this time. But we'll see. I believe they will. I don't believe they want to cheat again. They just going to be thrown under the mud. It's just bad. So anyway, it's the last series in the American League, which is the Oakland Athletics and the Chicago White Sox. I think to everybody's surprise, Chicago made it to the playoffs. I mean, they had a really good team this year, but unfortunately, this was a 2-1 series win for the Oakland Athletics. They did let one game slide, but they was able to handle their business in Game 3. And so the Oakland Athletics doing what they have to do to win, and now they're going to face Houston, another divisional rival. So I guess the AL is both divisions is playing each other. Tampa Bay and New York is in the same division. Houston and Oakland is in the same division. That's going to be a big deal. That's going to be a very big deal. So we're going to move that. That's the ALDS is basically set for the American League. So we're going to go ahead and monitor that, especially for next week. So we're going to see which teams go ahead and move on to maybe get to the conference series. So we're going to monitor that. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the National League. So the National League, we're going to start with the Los Angeles Dodgers and the Milwaukee Brewers, who was actually under 500. They had a losing record and still made it to the playoffs, which, that's what happens when you expand baseball. You get stuff like that when you expand playoffs. It's just like some teams just don't belong there, and they still win. So look, they still get into the playoffs. So look, we can't we can't discredit the teams that made it to the playoffs. But they got there and got beat up by Los Angeles. That was a quick 2-0 win for the Los Angeles Dodgers. So they're moving on to the NLDS. And look, I don't think anybody was surprised that, the Dodgers was able to handle their business. But the games were a lot closer than, expected. And Clayton Kershaw had a crazy game. And we all know Clayton Kershaw in the playoffs, you never know what you can get with him. He hasn't had too many playoff success in his career. And unfortunately, he had to deal with, cheating that really, kind of hurt him winning winning a World Series. But hey, you never know. This could be his year. He pitched a great game last night, so they're going to go ahead and they're moved ahead on to the next to the NLDS, and they're basically awaiting the winner of this next series, the San Diego Padres and the St. Louis Cardinals. And look, San Diego is a very young, very good team that could make noise in the playoffs. And then we have St. Louis, who usually always a good team in the playoffs. So this game 3 is going to be a big one. And whoever moves on to play Los Angeles, I think they're going to give Los Angeles a run for their money. So we have to see. That's going to be a very good series for whoever the Dodgers play. And so we are going to go ahead and continue to the next series, which is the Chicago Cubs and the Miami Marlins. And look, it's a big surprise. Miami right now is leading the series 1-0. I believe they do play tonight. I think they're going to play pretty soon, to be honest with you. Look, Miami is excuse me, I got to sneeze. Miami is a good team. They had a problem, with COVID during the season, which, they had to postpone a lot of games. But look, I think all that can be looked away if they move on to the National League Division Series. So if Miami can pull out another game in Chicago, then they will move on and they will wait the winner out of they will play Atlanta. Atlanta is the second seed in the National League, and they was able to handle their business against the Cincinnati Reds, who I don't think a lot of people thought they would make it here, but look, they're here. So, but they're out of the playoffs. Atlanta handled their business in the home turf, and they're going to wait for the winner out of Miami and Chicago. So we have to keep a big lookout. So the NL is a little bit like the NL is not exactly established as much as the AL. It seems like the people, like the teams in the AL, was a lot of quick 2-0 wins, and the National League is a little bit more competitive. I think the National League do have better teams, and that they are trying to figure it out. So I think I think tonight is going to be a big day for at least people to know who they're going to play for the next series. So after today, it's going to be different. It's going to be different. We basically know probably what teams is going to be where. We know the San Diego, St. Louis is coming to the conclusion. We got to see if Miami close out the division, the series against the Chicago Cubs. So we're gonna keep a lookout for the NL bracket. AL's basically ready to go. So look, baseball is in full swing, y'all. So it's going strong, and we are going to monitor those games as we continue on up until next week, and we will come back and we would love to talk about that. So that's basically going to be it for the talk for baseball. Like I said, if you have any questions or comments by far, please go ahead and comment. I love to have interactive streams with people, and I definitely love talking. It helps me, of course, as far as streaming wise, because it makes things go a lot faster. You always don't want to talk to yourself all the time. So yeah, if don't be shy if you want to have any questions or comments, please go ahead and type in the comment section. So we are going to go ahead and continue on to our next topic, which is the NFL Week 3 games. And we are going to go ahead and speak on those games. So basically, it was some exciting games, NFL Week 3, and there was really 3 games that that was a little bit on my radar that just hold a little bit more weight, and so I want to highlight those games. And so the first game I'm going to highlight is the Chicago Bears and the Atlanta Falcons. And boy, oh boy, Atlanta fans, I'm sorry. If you guys are Atlanta fans and you're watching this stream, from me to you, I'm sorry, okay? This is another blown lead, guys. What? I don't want to say you guys are cursed, but I think you're close to it. I mean, it is Halloween coming up pretty soon. It's spooky season around here. It's looking spooky for the Atlanta Falcons. I know that much, all right? Atlanta, what is going on with you guys, man? Like, I want to give you the benefit of the doubt. I'm sitting here each and every week like, okay, Atlanta got this game, right? And then you blow it against the Cowboys, which was horrible. And now you blow it against the Chicago Bears, who's not that good of a team. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Chicago is not good. They had to bench their quarterback, Mitchell Trubisky, for Nick Foles, who's not any better than Mitchell Trubisky. And you guys find a way to lose, guys. So let's talk about this, okay? So in the first half, I'm looking at the stats right now. The first half, you guys are 16-10, right? That's a pretty decent first half, okay? The game is still close, right? Third quarter, you up the lead. It is 26-10. Chicago does not score a single point in the third quarter. 26-10. Okay? Going into the fourth quarter, that's a very comfortable lead. And then you give up 20 points. To lose the game 30-26. You guys don't score a single point. Look, it's to the point where you don't even have to score a point, right? All you have to do is just play some defense and you win the game. Atlanta. Help me to help you. Tell me what's going on. Like, I don't understand. I just don't understand. But now, Atlanta fans, you gotta deal with. Excuse me. You gotta deal with Aaron Rodgers next week, and look, you have to deal with Aaron Rodgers and Green Bay Packers next week. And Aaron Rodgers is playing out of his mind right now in the early part of the season. I don't know, Atlanta. I mean, I don't know what to tell you guys, but it is not looking good right now for you guys. It's not looking good. Now you're 0-3. It's not looking good. So Atlanta, you're gonna have to figure out. You're gonna have to have a big game against Green Bay next week, guys. So you guys going to need a big game, and it's a primetime game in Green Bay. It's gonna be tough, guys. It's gonna be a tough Atlanta fans, but I have faith in you guys. That I have faith in the Falcons that they can get back on the winning ways. But I'm sorry, Atlanta fans, that you have to endure this, but it is what it is. You kind of bring this on yourself. So let's go ahead and move on to the next game. That was a good one, which is the Los Angeles Rams and the Buffalo Bills. And look, throughout the whole game, Buffalo looked like such a dominant team. They only gave up 3 points in the first half. The defense was playing well, and look, Buffalo is looking like, that divisional leaders that I see them being. And so they had a big lead. I mean, it was 21-3 in the first half. That's such a well-rounded performance that Buffalo should feel happy about themselves. But boy, when that second half started, oh my goodness, Buffalo looked like a different team. Los Angeles Rams had the momentum, which they can get at any time because that is a very high-powered offense. Let's not look past that. Cooper Kupp is good. Robert Woods is a good receiver. Just got a huge extension. Jared Goff is good. And they turned it around. Los Angeles played so well. They was able to get it back to 17 in the third quarter. But Buffalo was able to score in the third quarter as well. So I believe it was 28-14 in the third quarter. And look, it was a back and forth game in the fourth quarter. Los Angeles was able to score 15 points in the fourth quarter, but it was back and forth in the fourth quarter. And Buffalo did just enough to get the win. And let's be 100% honest. Jared Allen, like he doesn't play in the NFL anymore. Josh Allen is having a tremendous first half of the season, first 3 games of the season. Josh Allen is playing really well. And Josh Allen, I think, with a little bit more experience, because in his rookie year, you can kind of tell he was making crazy throws, and it was like, oh, his decision making is really bad. But when he got more experience, and the game is starting to slow down for him, he's becoming a top quarterback in the NFL. I would say so. Last year he played well to get Buffalo into the playoffs, and now this year, a 3-0 start for Buffalo, and beat a really good Los Angeles team. Now, like I said, I thought they was going to win the division this year. I thought it was going to be a runaway. I didn't know the Patriots was going to be any good, but they're shocking a lot of people. Cam Newton is playing a lot better than I thought he would. The Patriots are playing well. Their defense always was good, and now it's a little bit different for the Patriots. Now they have a running quarterback, so I think the Patriots is really doing a good job working around Cam Newton and working him to his strengths. So I think it's really working well for Cam Newton and the Patriots. But look, at the end of the day, I'm still sticking to what I said, and I think Buffalo is going to win the division, and they're playing well. They are playing well, and they go into next week with 3-0 playing the Las Vegas Raiders. And look, it could be a difficult game. That could be a difficult game for the Bills. I mean, that's a long travel to Las Vegas. You have to come from the East Coast basically to the West Coast and play a game. And I think Vegas is going to play well in their home stadium this whole year because it's a brand new stadium and they do not want to do bad in Vegas. So I think that's going to be a good game for the Buffalo Bills. And so Look, if the Bills can manage to go 4-0 to begin the season, hey, okay. Look, that's going to be. I know the Bills Mafia is going to love that. They're going to be jumping off cars, going through 30 tables, because that's what they do. There's some crazy fans in Buffalo. I can't lie to you, but they look. Bills fans, they deserve it. They deserve it after jumping through all those tables and doing wild stuff. Look, they deserve to have a good team. So, and this is definitely that year for it. So we're going to see how that Las Vegas Raiders Buffalo Bills game plays out. And so I'm going to go ahead and speak in the last week 3 game that kind of caught my eye was the Kansas City Chiefs and the Baltimore Ravens. And look, we knew that was going to be, that's probably the most hyped game so far this year. We're talking about 2 of the top quarterbacks in the NFL today, which is Patrick Mahomes, who I think is the number 1 quarterback in the NFL, and it's like not even close. And then we have Lamar Jackson, who everybody thought was a running back coming out of college. But look, if anybody's seen him play in Louisville, you can tell he was a quarterback, right? Ain't no way he was a running back. I don't know why people thought. So he's the best running back, if that's the case, best running back in the NFL, because he could pass the ball as well. So look, coming into the game, we would have thought this would have been a lot more competitive. But goodness gracious, man, the way Patrick Mahomes play, it's like you can't even put like I don't know what you can say about his game. Like, he can do so many things well. It's like, how can you even stop this man? So Patrick Mahomes, listen to the stat line, guys. He went 31 for 42, 31 completions on 42 attempts with 385 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, and zero picks. And I think he had a running touchdown as well, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he did. So he had 5 total touchdowns, and like, Patrick Mahomes looks unstoppable at times. And this is a game in Baltimore where, the Ravens don't want to lose at home, right? But he went into Baltimore. Baltimore likes to bring a lot of exotic defenses, try to confuse a lot of these quarterbacks. But Patrick Mahomes, he ran through that. It didn't matter what defense the Ravens called up. He ran through all of it. And Patrick Mahomes, I mean, I think for right now, him and Russell Wilson are definitely 1 and 2 in the MVP conversation, because look, Russell Wilson is having a crazy year. He's having a crazy year. But Patrick Mahomes is having a crazy year as well. And look, he's so dominant. Like, I don't think anybody can stop this man. And as long as him and Andy Reid are together, I think they're probably to win like Super Bowl after Super Bowl the way they play, because Andy Reid's an offensive genius, and you can tell with a lot of exotic play calls that Andy Reid does that get them yards. Then you have Tyreek Hill, who's a downhill threat each and every time. Then you have one of the best tight ends in Travis Kelce. Like, it's hard to stop. It's hard to stop Kansas City. Like, I'm just going to be 100% honest with you. So let's talk about the Ravens. Look, it's no secret the Ravens had a tough game. The Ravens had a really tough game. And for Lamar Jackson, I think this was his like breakout game. Like this is going to be that game to solidify him as one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL. Not to say he's not, but he didn't play like it on Monday. I'm just going to be 100% honest with you guys, okay? So let's look at his stat line, guys. So he had 15 completions for 28 attempts, only 97 passing yards and 1 touchdown. But he did have 83 rushing yards as well. And look, that in itself, when you only have 97 passing yards as a quarterback, it's not going to cut it. That is not going to cut it. And look, Kansas City defense was just roaming around. I mean, Kansas City defense is for passing plays, they're good. Passing defense, they're really good. Now, run defense is where they lack. Okay, run defense is where they lack. So if they can get that together, but I mean, you know, with Patrick Mahomes, I don't think it really matters, to be honest with you, because the way that they could score if the Chiefs defense can just be average, then they'll be fine. They'll be fine as far as, you know, having a good year. So I really thought this was going to be a different game, but unfortunately, the Chiefs got the better of the Baltimore Ravens, and you know, it's very tough. It's very tough. So look, the Ravens definitely have to bounce back. Which they can. They're going to play the Washington football team, who's not a good team by any stretch of the imagination. Let me be 100% honest with you. That whole division, the NL, we're not talking about baseball. The NFC East, that whole division stinks. Like I think Dallas is first in the division with a 1-2 record. That division has been really bad for a long time. So, look, the Ravens are going to go ahead and probably handle their business against the Washington football team. I could be wrong. You never know. Washington could have one of those inspired games that some teams have. So, look, it could happen. It could happen. So we got to think about that. And then for Kansas City, they're going to go ahead and play. Let me see what Kansas City playing next. No, Kansas City do not have a bye week. Who is Kansas City playing? Okay, so Kansas City is going to go ahead and play the New England Patriots, which is going to be a good game. I think Cam Newton is going to play very inspired football because he doesn't want to be shown up by Patrick Mahomes. Oh no, not at all. So that's going to be a good game. Patriots have a good defense. They could make Cam Newton very uncomfortable. And so we have to be on the lookout for that game. That's going to be a good game. It seems like Kansas City and the Patriots play each other each and every year for some reason. I don't know who's making the schedule in the NFL, but if we can, you know, add a little spice and variety into the schedule, that might be nice because these two teams play each other every year. You know, when Tom Brady was the head man in the Patriots. So yeah, it could be a little variety in the schedule, NFL. But look, we're not going to complain, right? It's football, right? We're not going to complain at all. So those are definitely the 3 games that really caught my attention this week. Moving on to like week 4 games. We had the Broncos and the Jets played last night. The Broncos was able to get their first win, 37-28 against the Jets. But I think a high school football team could beat the Jets at this moment, because these are 2 really bad teams. And we had a Broncos quarterback who I never heard this man a day in my life. threw 3 interceptions. I think only had 2 touchdowns, and they still managed to get the win. And look, for the New York Jets, like, boy, they have zero talent, like zero talent at all. I think Jamal Adams was just their saving grace, and they just let him go to the Seattle Seahawks. And who can blame Jamal Adams for wanting to get traded? That team stinks. That team absolutely stinks, like really bad. Like I don't know what is going on in with the Jets. I think Adam Gase is basically like out the door. I don't know why they allowed him back into his office after their loss against the Broncos. Yeah, they need to fire that man. Adam Gase is not the answer. And look, it's his time. The Jets are just not a good team, not competitive at all. It was sad. And look, last that Thursday game, that wasn't exactly the most interesting game in the world, but you know, the Broncos got a win, and yeah, hey, you get your first win against a pushover team. So congratulations to them. So yeah, next week it's going to be a lot of good games. Hopefully we can get around to it. Definitely hope the Falcons can get back on their on the grind and have a good game. We're gonna look out for the Patriots and Chiefs. Some other good games being floated around. Maybe the Chargers and Bucks, the Saints, Lions. Look for the Bills and Raiders. Two good teams. So yeah, we're definitely going to be on the lookout for next week, and we will definitely talk about that. And so we're going to be on the lookout for next week. So that's the end of that topic. If you guys have any questions or comments about any of the MLB playoffs going on so far, as far as your favorite NFL team, if they're bad, or if they're good, they played horrible last year. And also anything else, just please comment and be more than happy to talk about anything sports related. So let's go ahead and continue on to our last topic. That is the NBA Finals. So the NBA Finals started on Wednesday, which put the Miami Heat and the Los Angeles Lakers together. And we all know about the Heat. The Miami Heat has been running teams out the gym in the playoffs. They handled Indiana real easy, a sweep in that series. Also, they handled Milwaukee, the best team in the NBA this year. They handled them in 5 games. They played a much talented team in them against Boston. They handled them in 6 games. So look, Miami's here for a reason. They play hard. They have a bunch of dogs on their team. They play. They have a strong culture there in Miami. And I think it starts, with Pat Riley. Pat Riley is a basketball savant. He's a genius when it comes to basketball, both coaching and the front office. And Pat Riley is a very slick talker, because he gets a lot of good free agents to play for him. And that was the case with LeBron James coming to Miami. Now it's the case with Jimmy Butler coming, and that was like a perfect fit. I think he was the cornerstone to build that tough culture, because we all know Jimmy Butler is a tough, no-nonsense guy. So yeah, the Miami Heat was there. They ran teams in the playoffs, and so they went through the East Conference real easy. So they're there for a reason. And then we have the Los Angeles Lakers, who's basically been running teams in the West as well, and we all know the West is the top division out of both of them, out of the East and the West. I mean, the West is a lot stronger. And look, the Lakers, they won their first series with the Celtics 4-1. You know, everybody thought since they was playing bad before the NBA restart, before the playoffs start, that the Lakers were going to have a tough time. Everybody was predicting them to lose against Portland. They handled their business 4-1. They played Houston. Houston beat them in the first game. Everybody thought they was going to have trouble with Houston. They beat them 4-1. Then they played the Nuggets, who beat the heavy favorites, the Clippers, and everybody thought the Clippers was the top team in the West. And look, the Lakers and Denver's a good team. Don't get me wrong. Denver's going to be a top 2 team, I think, next year. Once they start adding a lot of pieces around Jokic and Murray, they're going to be a good team. And I think Michael Porter Jr. is going to emerge as a star, and Gary Harris is going to get his legs back under him after he had like a pretty bad injury. He's going to come back. He's going to play well. Gary Harris is a very underrated player. And so the Lakers handled their business beating the Denver Nuggets in a 5-game series as well. So here we go. I mean, the clash of the 2 best teams, the Los Angeles Lakers and the Miami Heat. And, man, look, that game did not look competitive at all. When I mean at all, like at all, that game looked like that was bad. Now look, Miami came out very strong in the first quarter. Miami came out very strong in the first quarter. They was hitting all their shots. They made a couple of threes. I think Jimmy Butler was like 4 for 4 or 5 for 5 in the first quarter. Jimmy Butler was playing well, but you can kind of tell this is like a fill out point for both teams. And look, Miami took advantage of them, but look, the Lakers came back and found a way to get back in the first quarter. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope managed to hit 2 big 3-pointers that kept Los Angeles in the game. And then after that, it was go time for the Los Angeles Lakers. It was go time for the Los Angeles Lakers. And I think they went on like a 75 to like 32 point run in like the second and third quarter. Like, wow, that game, look, Miami looked very overpowered. Very, very overpowered. And LeBron James and Anthony Davis were showing why they're the best duo, I think, since Kobe and Shaq. LeBron James finished the game with 25 points, 13 rebounds, and 9 assists. Only 1 assist shy from a triple-double, which LeBron was basically all this year, was like a walking triple-double. I think him and Luka was like walking triple-doubles this whole year. Luka Doncic for the Dallas Mavericks. So, and then while LeBron James was going off for his, Anthony Davis went off for 34 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 assists. And Anthony Davis, like this whole playoff series, have consistently averaged 30 points, and it didn't matter who he played. He's a consistent 30-point-a-game player. And this is big. I don't think anybody expected this because, look, Anthony Davis, when he was playing for New Orleans, I don't think he ever got past the second round. Like, I think that 1 year against when he played Portland in New Orleans, when him and Rajon Rondo was both in New Orleans, I think that was the only time they got to the second round, in Anthony Davis' career, because that was a sweep, and then they went on to play. I think it was Houston or Golden State. I can't remember, but if you know in the comments, let me know. But what's going on, Greg? Now if Bam and Gorgie's out is over, how come people don't say LeBron passed that like he did for Russ? I don't know, man. I just do not know, but we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that. So I mean, Anthony Davis, went off for his points, right? And look, okay, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that guy, but look, the way this is looking, this is sweet material. This is sweet material. All right. I, I don't see how Miami can stay competitive in this series. I just don't. I just don't. I don't know how Miami can stay competitive in this series. First and foremost, Miami needs some players to step up, right? Duncan Robinson, who has been lighting people up the whole playoffs, had 0 points in 27 minutes. 0. And I kind of knew this was going to happen because, look, Danny Green and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope are two defenders that seem to never get tired. They come off screens. They stay with you at the hip. And Duncan Robinson had 0 room to do anything. And if Duncan Robinson is not getting off 3-pointers, what else is he going to do in this series? Let's be 100%, because he's not going to take it into the lane, because Anthony Davis is just going to be waiting for him right there in the lane, or Dwight Howard. So it's not going to happen. And then look, at the end of the day, the Lakers look so much bigger than the Miami Heat. The Lakers will probably never shoot that good again. If I'm the Heat, I would still be confident knowing that game was a fluke. That's very true. That I agree with. That that's probably not going to happen for the Lakers again. But at the end of the day, gosh, I mean, who is going to stop Anthony Davis or LeBron James getting into the lane? And Duncan is trash. I hate his game. Look, he is what he is, right? He's a 3-point specialist. He's gonna make you work for it. He's gonna get off those screens and pull up some tough shots. That's just who he is. But look, KCP and Danny Green are those guys that's going to stop that. Like, let's be 100% real. They was right there every step of the way, and they basically took Duncan Robinson out of the game. Like, Duncan Robinson was barely in the game like half the time. I'm like, dang, where's Duncan Robinson? I don't see him in the game. And so, look, I'm going back to the point where Anthony Davis is too big. Like, Jay Crowder's not going to stop him. As good as he is on defense, he's not going to stop him. So now, look, it's going to be different. Now that Goran Dragic is out, you can bring in Kendrick Nunn, who did start for Miami the whole season and played really well. He was a rookie. He was all rookie team. He plays very well, okay? Now, ever since he had COVID-19 and the NBA restart, he hasn't played exactly well, but he did have a good game against Garbage Time, I guess, last game against the Lakers. So we're going to see if he can build on that confidence going into tonight's game 2. You know, that's going to be a good thing for him. Honestly, if AD and LeBron, Jimmy, and Bam can cancel each other out, I think the Heat will have a better chance with their role players. That's tough, okay? Wholeheartedly, that's really tough for me to say, because Tyler Hero needs to kind of grow up a little bit more. I mean, this guy can't really drink legally. He's a young guy, and I think his young mentality will show in this series with all these OG vets the Lakers have on this team. We're talking about NBA Finals experience. You got Rondo, you got Danny Green, who's been in the finals. Rondo's a champion. Danny Green's a champion. KCP's a vet. You know, and then you got LeBron and AD anchoring the show. Do you have Alex Caruso coming off the bench playing really well? It's kind of hard for me to say, oh, Tyler Hero is going to be that man. Kelly Olynyk, who's probably going to start tonight, is going to stop anybody. He might play inspired basketball. I think he will tonight. And then we have Kendrick Nunn, who you never know, who hasn't really been playing well. I think that's really hard for me to say that Tyler Hero is going to go off like he did against Boston, go off for 37 points. I don't think so. I mean, the Lakers have great rim defenders. This is not Daniel Tice that they're playing against Boston. This is the Los Angeles Lakers, and that's a big team. So I don't know. I don't know if that's going to work out. I just don't think the role players from Miami can really, get them over the top. And I was thinking this, so we have Kelly Olynyk, who's probably going to play tonight. Great 3-point shooter. He's kind of tough. He probably couldn't defend Anthony Davis in the half court pretty well. I think he can. I think he will do a good job with that. But it might be different. I forgot about Andre Iguodala. Iggy can probably play some inspired basketball as well. He did against the Boston Celtics. But Iggy looked kind of old. In last night's game. I don't know. He played okay. He played okay. Crowder's going to have to play a lot better. Look, Kelly Olynyk. I'm talking about Kelly Olynyk. I think he's going to play okay defense against Anthony Davis straight up in the half court. But when they get in transition, where the Los Angeles Lakers excel like wholeheartedly, is he going to be able to keep up with that pace the Lakers are playing with? I don't think he can. I think they're going to outrun the Miami Heat because Bam Adebayo could run. Bam Adebayo can run with those stallions that the Lakers are bringing. Because look, Dwight Howard, as old as he is, can still get up the floor kind of well. Anthony Davis can run great for a big man because he was a small dude and had a crazy growth spurt. LeBron James is just LeBron James. He's gonna do, he's just gonna overpower a lot of guys. Then we got Alex Caruso who can do his thing, and Rondo who's gonna run. And you might get Miles Leonard out there. You've seen what LeBron James did to Miles Leonard at Staples Center. I don't think Miles Leonard want to see any parts of LeBron James because he just bullied him, and Miles Leonard just had to look crazy. So I mean, I don't want to sound like that guy. This is kind of sweet material, but I'm gonna give Miami a game 3. I'm gonna give Miami game 3. They are going to get game 3, guys. So they are going to. They're going to get game 3. They're going to get game 3, and other than that, I don't know. I mean, I have to see what Miami does this year. Game 2, if they can get it close, if they can get it close, and maybe it can be like a 8-point lead going to the fourth quarter, and Miami is down. It could be different because Jimmy Butler is a good closer, is a great closer, and he can lead his team to a victory. But look, if they're getting blown out like they did game 1, guys, I don't know. If they lose game 2, it might be tough because they go into game 3. And if they lose that one, we all know the deal. Ain't nobody came back from 3-0 deficit in any series in the NBA. So, the finals, nobody came back. So they're gonna have to play inspired basketball this game. So we're gonna see about we're gonna see about game 2 this week, and And yeah, we're and Miami Heat's going to have to figure it out. Miami Heat's going to have to figure it out. So that's basically going to be the end of the show. I appreciate everybody who came to the show as well. So we're going to be here same time, same place, noon to 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to talk about more great topics. And I hope to see you guys here as always. So if you guys are on Twitch, I'm going to send you guys over to McGrady. He is currently playing Call of Duty, so go over there and show him love and tell him what's up for me. I knew McGrady from my old 2K days. We used to play a lot competitively, and he's a good guy. So go over there and give him love. And everybody on YouTube and Facebook, I will see you guys next week. Same time, same place. So I am out of here. Peace.